Alright, let's talk about Dynasty. I don't like the intro. We're changing it. No, changing it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Night Out channel. I'm back in 2018. What's going on, guys? How you doing? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a Q&A video where I'm answering all of your questions about Dynasty Warriors Origins. Fortunately for me, and my members know because I keep saying it, I've been given the game very early, full access for the last about 3 weeks now. I've played close to 85 hours in the game. 99% of the story I've completed. There's a couple cutscenes that I'm missing that are hard to get, and I can't look it up because, you know, game's not out yet. I've had an extensive experience with the game so far. It's been a lot of fun, and now I just want to answer any questions that you guys have as non-spoily as I can. I'm not going to be spoiling anything, don't worry about that. Plus, I want you guys to enjoy it. You know, I want you guys to play the game, enjoy it for what it is, experience the story for the first time, all the things that make you go, what the fuck just happened? There's going to be a couple of those moments coming for you guys, so have fun with that. And then, yeah, so first of all, I want to say thank you all once again. Appreciate you guys leaving a bunch of questions for me to answer. So starting off with question number 1, we've got, how do you rate the gameplay and the story thus far? Okay, so gameplay, in my opinion, just me, okay, you can scrutinize me if you want, I get it, but it is the best gameplay from a Dynasty Warriors game ever. It is the perfect balance, not perfect, let's not say perfect, but it's a very good balance between the old games and the new games. Peons aren't necessarily fodder. They're still pretty aggressive, but they toe the line of fodder. You play on easy, you play on normal, they'll become fodder. You play on hard or the hardest level, they are not as foddery as you think. So I like the mix of the Wolong, the Souls feel, and the 1 versus 1000 from the old Dynasty Warriors games. And I mean, you do have the big moments, the big Musos, the ultimate Musos that kill 200, 300, 400 people at once. You know, but those are rare, and you probably only get them like once per battle, so you got to use them efficiently. There's going to be videos coming out for you guys towards launch date on tips and stuff on how to play and, you know, all that good stuff. But yeah, so gameplay is the best for me personally. Story, I would say it's right underneath Spirit of Sonata, right underneath. And it's either tied or right above Dynasty Warriors 7, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because, one, this is the most extensive story that we've had. Maybe besides, because Dynasty Warriors 9 was pretty hefty, right? But a lot of it was repeatable. This is not repeatable. When you choose different paths, for the most part, there are a couple of obviously repeatable assets or similar assets. But for the most part, I would say about 85, 90% of each path, very different content. There is a lot to sift through. The interactions, the bonds, everybody gets their time to shine, so that's really cool to see as well. Story's pretty good. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it a lot. Moving on to the next question we have. Will there be free mode and alternative modes? So I answered this, or at least Tomohiko Sho did in the interview, if you guys have seen that. There is no free mode, there is no alternative modes, there is just the playthrough that you have for your character, you have the missions, everything is inside your playthrough, not on the menu. They might add it closer towards launch date. I don't think they will. It might be DLC, it might be whatever it is. I know, at least from what I've understood, is that this is really a base to see how we feel from a base level about this direction with the current state of Dynasty Warriors, the gameplay, the story, the RPG elements, all that stuff, and hopefully they say if it does well, they're going to build upon it, and hopefully in a positive, non-cloned weapon kind of way, you know what I mean? Maybe fix the voice acting a little bit too, which we'll talk about later. I can't get too into it because there's things I can't show yet. Moving on to the next question we have, how unique is each weapon? Does the skill tree matter? Do they add things? And then boss fights. So I'll start with the boss fights because it's easier, I guess, to answer, or shorter. Boss fights, there's only a few. There are some hard levels. I mean, there are some nightmarish type levels, but those are probably the 2 isolated boss fights. Yeah, I think those are the only 2. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's just those 2. And then for the weapons, they are very unique. Very, very unique. Some of them, just the way they're built, some of them have the old C charge combos. Some of them are strong attack based. Some of them are charge attack based. Some of them are, you know, kind of mixed with their battle art. The gauntlets, they have the stances, you know, the forms. The lance and the Podao are more, again, they're charge based. So I like that. The wheels, you can throw the wheels. Throw the wheels at people. Really, really cool. Really, really unique movesets for each weapon. So I really like that. I hope they continue that trend with the next, you know, whatever they do next. But yeah, each weapon is unique. Skill tree, I'm gonna have a separate video coming out later towards launch date about skill tree and the best way to approach that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Moving on to the next question. Wanderer's story, does it have enough payoff to justify not having custom characters? So I would say, no, not, words. No, I don't think it justifies not having custom characters. Not saying a custom character could fill the role. I don't think a custom character could fill the role of the main story because it wouldn't make any sense. But, I mean, there's a way they could have done it. They could have made it work. But I think the story's good. It's nice to see a different take on the period and how you navigate that. I am a little sad that the things that you respond with doesn't really affect anything, or at least not anything that I notice, not anything noticeable. All right, next question. How many battles would you say there are per story path? Okay, so chapters 1 and 2 are like mixed, so they're not a specific team, you know what I mean? So excluding those, 3, 4, and 5, I would say there's about 20, 25 maybe, 20, 25, and then if you include chapters 1 and 2, probably close to 30 per team, per story, right? So in total, you probably have like 80 or so battles because some of the battles are shared, obviously. All right, moving on to, did AI allies, there we go, tongue twister, get any better, or are they still struggling to hold their own in the demo? So I'm assuming the demo problems that I see a lot of people were having is just because you guys aren't used to the game. It's quite the learning curve to get used to, right? The gameplay's fast, you gotta be aware of everything. Battle of Siegeway is probably one of the hardest battles to keep your allies alive. You're trying to fight, and you try to watch the map, because I want to constantly make sure my people are good. So, Siegeway Gate is a hard map for keeping your allies alive. But in general, I would say it got better, because you can leave people by themselves, as long as your courage is okay, and they can actually do some damage, especially if they're fighting against the weaker, zero courage. I don't know how to explain it, but like they have, they're just weaker. They're the weaker versions instead of the upped dark red characters. You know what I mean? So those ones, usually your allies run through those guys pretty easily, or if not, you go there, you help them, you damage them, you move on. But in my opinion, they got a lot better in terms of holding their own, because they don't die to just peons anymore, Okay, wow, we got a big one here. Moving up, dude. Yeah, we do. Full act of the game, yes sir. Okay, so a few questions. We got. I'm gonna run through these as quickly as I can, but just we have a lot. So, hop from a certain kingdom and choose one battle and help them win the very next, or at a certain point you choose a kingdom. So, question number 1 is true for both answers. Chapter 3. You can spend playing with different kingdoms, right? There's gonna be a point where you have to choose though, right? And that whatever you choose is gonna affect the other kingdom, right? So both of those are a yes, yeah. Number 2, weapons experience. If variety get boring, limited to comparing again, get a weapon more sophisticated compared to user charge it. Yeah. 9 or 10 is pretty good. It would have been nice to see like 15, 20. I'm not saying that I'm bored with the 10 that I have, or the 10 that we get, but it would be cool to see more of what they could build. But they're pretty unique in terms of the way they feel, the way they play. So, like I've already mentioned, like I've already talked about. Okay, so basically the importance of the non-playable main cast. I would say every playable character that was added in has a fair share of spotlight, whether that's through the bonds or not, because the bonds give them a little bit more of a, you get to be a little bit more of them than you normally would in some of the other games, especially characters that we don't really get a chance to like talk to like that. Yue Jin, Li Dian. We got some really cool things with characters that you don't really get to talk to. Zhou Song, right? We don't get those development kind of things, and the bonds really take care of that for everybody. And then, of course, the in-game cutscenes, when they are included, they add value. Everybody seems to have an even or a decent amount of content for each character. So you don't like go into the towns or anything like that, but there are, again, the bonds. So the main cast, the bonds, at least for some of them, I think the rulers don't have that. The rulers you just play through them and you get them. But the companions, I think most of them have extra bonds that you get outside of the main story. So there are some extra stuff like that. Hypothetical routes, yes there are. Is there a free mode challenge? No other modes. If the game feels like a fresh breath of air. Like I already mentioned, the gameplay is amazing. The story, the RPG elements. If you guys like those kind of games, I mean, we love Dynasty Warriors. You guys played Spirit of Sonata, hopefully, right? Whatever it may be. I think it's a great step forward in the right direction. This is a great, unfortunately, base for the game, right? The budget and the experimentation with this game is what leads it to be kind of shallow, you know, in terms of the weapons, in terms of the maybe the limited playability, the customization, whatever it may be. But I think it's a great start. If they build off of this, this is what Dynasty Warriors 9 should have been, in my opinion, right? I guess it's hard to do with all those characters, but it's just a really, yes, a really good start. Breath of fresh air in terms of gameplay, 100%. Story mode, like I already mentioned, trying to reach that bar is very tough, but still great. I enjoyed it. I love the twists and turns. You'll see it. All right, moving on. So, do you have to side with one of the 3 major kingdoms? Can we side with at least from what I've seen. Maybe DLC will come. Maybe I haven't unlocked it yet, but I played 85 hours and I got 99% of the story done. So, unless there's some hidden endgame thing that I haven't seen after 100%ing everything, I'm going to say I don't think so. Appreciate the love, George. Appreciate that, man. It's a little bit of an effect. For example, I remember specifically I was playing on South side, and I got through to a certain point, and I had a bond going with Yuan Shao. And I'm currently still searching for that last bond because I was like, I couldn't find it. Anyway, so at some point I received a letter from Yuan Shao saying we can no longer be friends because I was too deep in with Cao Cao. So there are little things like that that happen. It affects it in a little bit of a way. In terms of like the choices of like the dialogue choices, I don't think those matter as much. I haven't seen the effects besides different like dialogue spoken by a response. Can we change the protagonist look, create a character, or just strictly outfit cosmetics only? The only thing I've seen is outfits, right? I still have a very early version of the game. I have the first outfit and the second outfit. That's it. I don't have the change of colors. I don't have anything like that. Is the combat like 5 with the light attack and heavy attack that you can use to combo together? Some of the weapons can do that. The sword, Lubu's halberd, and I think that's it. Staff, no, yeah. So the sword and the halberd are the only 2 that have the light and heavy attack. The other 8 have different utilities, different abilities, different focuses on how to use them. Moving on to, will Cao Ren be present mentioned in Battle of Xingye? Battle of Xingye is definitely in the game. Unfortunately, Cao Ren is not present. He's not mentioned. Role is taken over by Jia Shu and Xiahou Yuan. Alright, next one. Besides Lu Bu, do you feel other characters like Guan Yu are difficult to beat? Okay, so with this question, yeah, they are. Some of the characters are very tough, especially the commanders. When you guys play on the hardest level, you guys don't have access to the hardest level yet. When you guys play on the hardest level, every commander will be tough. Anybody with a morale of the 2 boost and up, tough. Like Zhao Yun is one of the harder ones to fight because him and like Go Yu I think does it too. They do these it's so fast. There's a very, very fast movement when they jump up in the sky and they land on you. It's hard to deal with that. So morale system, like I've already mentioned, extremely important for allies that you are not by. Anyway, moving on to the next question we have. Is this product worth buying this time? Well, that's up to you. That's up to you guys. It depends on how you feel about the game. I love Dynasty Warriors. Anything that they make, I will buy. And I will try to be as objective as I can with the game. As we get closer to launch date, I will be discussing my problems with the game. I can't do it now because there's things I can't talk about. For me, yes. I think so. I think it's a new experience. I think it's a good start. I think it's... The gameplay by itself, I would say yes. It's a hard game to get comfortable with, at least early on, getting used to the game. So, for the gameplay alone, I would say it's worth buying. Is there an end game like getting ultimate weapons with certain challenges? Yes, there is ultimate weapons. Yeah, there's some challenges towards the end. Is it possible to like more than 9? That was a word vomit and a half. Is it possible to unlock more than 9 weapon styles in the game? Can you learn any skills from other officers? Yes and yes. So when you max out the bonds, that's what Tomohiko shows it. When you max out the bonds with certain characters, they give you a battle art, and some of those battle arts are super, like, so strong. Like Zhao Yun, the one he gives you, so strong. Moving on to, I view every asset created for this game as an investment to the future of the franchise. Do you feel the same way? Very good question, and I 100% agree. Yes. I 100% see it as, again, experimentation on how we feel about the game in order to make more of it. Because do it. If we like the gameplay, if we like the story, we like the RPG elements, if it does well, why would they not build off of that, right? Dynasty Warriors 9 obviously didn't do well, and they kind of scrapped that, right? Open world's gone, clone weapons is still here, but you know, what are we gonna do? And it's fine. It's fine for now. It's a base. Gameplay is amazing, and you know, with the focus on the main protagonist, I guess that helps them with the budget. It helps them with the experimentation. They don't have to worry about investing so much, and then it just completely flops. And then what? No more Dynasty Warriors games? No, we can't have that. So I think it's a good start for, if it does well, building upon bigger later on. So hopefully it does really well, because I would love to see more Dynasty Warriors games like this. All right, and then second to last question we have is, did you not like what the game is? Okay, it's not a Dynasty Warriors game. It seems to me they're trying to make it more of a Souls-like game. Love the Dark Souls and those like it. Elden Ring, best games ever. But Dynasty Warriors, take that right, doesn't sit right with me. As a lifelong fan of the game and romance before that. Going back to the gotcha. Okay, so a long-time fan coming in, not feeling like a Dynasty Warriors game. And if you guys feel the same way, let me know down below. For me, it is a mix. I think it's a great mix of Warriors, Dynasty Warriors, and Souls, or Dynasty Warriors and Wolong, because it has both. You have the 1 versus 1,000 aspect. You're blowing out 400 people at once with your true Muso attacks, right? You can do huge slices. Your battle arts, some of your battle arts are pretty strong. You're hitting 10, 20, 30 at once, 40, 50, whatever, right? And you've got the animation style that's similar to Dynasty Warriors. You got the fighting, and it's just, it's a great mix. I think it's 100% a Dynasty Warriors game. It's not like the old games, no, but a better version of them. Like, this is what Dynasty Warriors 9 should have been. It's totally fine to have the opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like 100% it is a Dynasty Warriors game, and it is a great step in a very good direction for Dynasty Warriors. The story, the gameplay, the presentation, beautiful. Everything is done well. I just wish there was more. That's me, and you know, I feel like that's most of us when we get done with the Dynasty Warriors game. I wish there was more to do, more to, you know, sink our teeth into. But yeah, that's how I feel. That moving over to the original English voice actors back for the last question. Technically yes and no. Some of them have come back and played in like different characters, like Ling Tong's old voice actors playing Chong Pu now, which fit. It took me a while to get used to. But it fits. Ling Tong's voice acting is, I guess it makes sense because he's supposed to be like really young. But yeah, they went, you know, squeakier with him. I think some of them should have been switched around. I'll talk about that as we get closer to launch day, so I can play the footage while I talk about it instead of just being like, yeah, here's a picture of this character and I don't like his voice. You can't hear it, but this is his voice. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Okay, cool. Well, that's all I have for the video here, guys. That's all the questions I wanted to answer. I appreciate everybody who dropped a question for me. I can only do so many. You know, as we get closer to launch date, I'll be putting out a bunch of content for you guys that I'm already working on right now, trying to get as much as I can before it comes out. And of course, I will let you guys know if you guys are, you know, hopefully you guys are getting the game. If you don't want to get spoiled, don't watch any of the content until you are ready, right? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have. If you guys watched to this far, I definitely appreciate you guys for watching, and hope you guys are excited for some Dynasty Warriors Origins. I've had a lot of fun with it, and yeah, I will see you all in the next video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down below. I'm always down to have a good discussion, and then, yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.